A couple of Christmases ago, one of my very lovely mutuals over on Instagram sent me the kindest package that I've just randomly received to date. They sent me a bunch of art supplies, and these Posca pens were a part of them. I've used them a little bit, but honestly, not a ton, and I wanted to change that because, especially after the most recent paint markers I worked with, which were the Artex ones, I had such a good time using those markers. And I saw these Posca pens just sitting by my desk, and I was like, the time is nigh. I'm going to use Posca pens because this is such a beautiful color selection. First of all, it is so pastel, it is so pretty, it's like such good colors. So I wanted to do something with this, and I figured I would do something very easy, which for me is drawing Pokemon. I don't know why, it's something that's so good for my brain to draw when I have any kind of art block. It's so good for me. And I've just been like in a weird place with traditional art for a little bit, so I wanted to do something super simple and something that I knew I would probably be happy with the outcome. So I just went ahead and I doodled some Pokemon, which normally I feel like I cannot pick for myself when I'm doing things like this with Pokemon, because I will pick the same little dudes, like the same like 20 little dudes over and over and over again, because when I think of one to draw, I think of my favorites, and it just sends me into this weird spiral of only drawing those same 20 over and over again. So I asked my boyfriend to send me some just random Pokemon to draw, and thank God for that, because I ended up drawing things that were totally out of what I would normally draw. I started off really weak on my end because I was choosing at the very beginning. I chose Luxray, I chose Drifblim. Gen 4 is my absolute favorite thing. I feel like anytime I make a video with anything Pokemon related in it, I'm ranting and raving about Gen 4. I love Gen 4 with all of my heart and soul. Diamond was my very first game, the original Diamond for DS, so I grew up with that generation, and so pretty much all of the guys from that generation, minus Kricketune. I hate Kricketune. He's so ugly. I hate Kricketune so much. He's so ugly. When I had the game as a kid, as a dramatic little child, because I think when Diamond came out, I'm pretty sure it came out in like 2008, 2006, one of those, maybe 2006. I was very young, okay? I'm pretty sure I was under the age of 10. And anytime I would randomly encounter a Kricketune, I would like freak out and make my brother run away from it on my DS for me, because I simply did not want to look at it, because in my eyes, he's an ugly bug. Not only is he an ugly bug, but he is an ugly bug with a mustache. If you don't know what he looks like, I'll put up a picture right here for y'all to just view him for your viewing pleasure. I think he is the ugliest little bastard out there. If you love Kricketune, I'm so sorry for slandering him. My boyfriend loves that little dude. He thinks his mustache is great. He thinks he's so fun. That could never be me. I hate that man. He is my least favorite out of all, like, over 1,000 Pokemon. Least favorite. Hate that man. But everyone else in Gen 4 is just like absolutely stunning to me. So wildly stunning. So I normally dictate which ones I draw based off of Gen 4, honestly. I have a few favorites outside of that, but Gen 4 is my baby. But like I said, he gave me things that were definitely out of what I would normally choose for myself. The very first one he gave me is Parasect, and I've technically drawn Parasect before because I went through a little fun phase of drawing every single Pokemon from Generation 1 and Generation 2. I've tried to do other generations like after that in the past. It's never worked for me, but I've technically drawn Parasect before, but it was really small and it was really quick, so I tried to kind of capture him in a nice way, and honestly, out of all these little sketches I did, the Parasect is, I think it's like my second favorite. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The colors are so good. When I first started doing this page, I was initially only planning on using the 7 colors that came in the little set I showed at the beginning, but I realized pretty quickly that it was lacking contrast so badly. So I pulled a couple of other Poscas I had, which I honestly forgot I owned. Like, not a huge selection, but like an okay selection of Posca colors, and I added those to the mix, which was just a really dark blue and a dark purple, and I feel like those colors added to this really helped add some kind of contrast, especially for like separating light colors, because as far as the pastel range goes, some of the colors are so similar in tone that once they're next to each other, it's really hard to get any kind of definition. But I was so happy with the color palette I ended up going with, which was the pastels plus those 2 extra colors. I initially wasn't sure if I wanted to do things the colors that the actual Pokemon are, or if I wanted to go off of a limited palette, because I think I was kind of leaning towards a more limited palette at the beginning, where I just wanted to use maybe like 3 or 4 of the colors in the actual selection of Poscas, but got really into it and I kind of just wanted to play around and use the colors I had in front of me because, like I said, the pastel set has such a lovely selection of colors. And I'm so happy I did that because the page is so colorful. It is so beautiful. I'm so happy with how these turned out. There's a couple that are like a little like ugly. And I don't like those, but the rest of them I do really like. Almost all of these are bangers in my head. I know that very, very long ago, I did a video on my channel of drawing Pokemon with Posca pens, which that was like a while back. That was many years ago, and that was actually when I very first got Posca pens. I just did like a little quick video of me drawing some of my favorite Pokemon, and this was very reminiscent of that for me. I'm really happy with how these turned out though, but I remember on my old video, a lot of people commented that they'd love to see those drawings as like stickers or something in the future. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know, because first of all, I had so much fun drawing these little dudes, and second of all, I would love to make like, even if I just do a bunch of these illustrations of a bunch of different Pokemon and did like mystery bags of like you get a couple random ones. I really wanted to do something like that for my shop because I saw Milky Ways on Instagram do something like that, where she went through and she sold like little Miku, I don't know if they were stickers or they were acrylic charms, but she had them in blind bags basically, and she had like a super rare Miku that was an option, and I thought that was like the cutest thing as a small artist to do like little blind bags and stuff like that. I love that concept so much. I want to do that with like so many potential product ideas in the future of just doing blind bags, because the concept is so fun. It's so fun, especially if you're getting like multiple in a pack. I think that's so fun. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I also got so jump scared by my own drawing because while I was drawing this Crobat, it looks like Crobat. That's what his face looks like. It's a Crobat. The way the facial expression, specifically the mouth, reminded me of this man I saw on Tinder who had the exact same facial expression. I wish it was like morally acceptable to share a photo, because I know with confidence that I could find a screenshot of this person's profile, because I remember sending it to my closest friend because every single picture, he's just making that face. So as I was drawing that Crobat, that was a total jump scare for me. It really reminded me of that, and I never thought that would be in my brain again. So there's a lovely little story for you. Also, especially after doing this full sheet, as well as the other like drawings I did with acrylic markers in the past, I've really realized how much I like working with such a nice, easy to use opaque medium. I knew, I guess, that I liked paint markers, but I've also been doing a ton of digital art lately, and I feel like these much more so mimic kind of digital art in the sense of just having a super opaque medium and working in a lineless style. And I've wanted for so long to have a bigger selection of paint markers, because while you can absolutely do such lovely things with such a small color selection, like even for this video, even if I only had like 5 markers, I could still do a lot with only 5 markers. But in my heart of hearts, I know I so badly want like a gorgeous selection of paint markers, which in the past, I was really eyeballing Molito because they have a far bigger color selection than Posca does. At least they used to when I looked into this. I assume it's probably the same. But Molito markers have such a lovely color range, and they have like such sexy greens. They have such sexy greens. Such good like dark poopy greens, which is my absolute favorite kind of green. And I know on Amazon, they have a set that comes with, I think, like all of the Molito colors. All of them. And I want it so badly, but it's like $250. It's so expensive. And especially for a medium that I don't think will ever be my absolute favorite preferred medium. I don't think I'll ever be able to justify spending that much on them. because I feel like even a couple of colors are really expensive. Paint pens, I feel like, are more so like modern day Copics, where there are cheaper alternatives to them, but they're still like kind of expensive, like how alcohol markers are for the most part, up until like a couple years ago when other brands like Ohuhu and Ardex and stuff came out. But I feel like paint pens can just be so expensive, and it's so upsetting because I would love to have such a big color range that I can do like really pretty detailed pieces with, but that's either not in my budget or just like doesn't exist, because I know last time I checked, Posca really didn't have like the biggest color selection. That might have changed. It's been a long time since I've looked into paint pens like that, but I crave having like dark greens. I crave having a really nice selection of green anything art supply wise, especially with opaque mediums where it is very difficult to mix colors. I know technically you can like mix and blend paint markers, but it is absolutely way more work than I'm ever willing to put in. Plus, it's just lovely using the ink straight out of the marker as opposed to even trying to mix things. So I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. I was also absolutely fighting for my life doing this page because every week, at least a couple days out of the week, Aslan specifically will have days where he decides he wants to be by my side and receiving my attention for the entire day, which I love so much. But especially with Aslan, he refuses to let me give my attention to anything else, especially if I'm like sitting at a desk, because Fiora has moments where she gets really clingy and she'll just like want pets really bad. She'll want to be like up in your face and involved. But if I put a bed, like a scratcher, on my desk, she'll just be such a good, polite little girl, and she'll sit in that scratcher and she'll just be happy to be there. She'll be like, this is so great, like this is for me, I get to sit here with you, I'm having a great time. The way Aslan could never. He got to the point when I was doing this page that he just kept sitting on my sketchbook and staring at me, and if I tried to move him, he would either get angry and try to gum me, because he can't bite me because he doesn't have teeth. He would try to gum me, or he would just simply walk back over within like 30 seconds. It was so bad, and like I feel so bad locking my cats out of whatever room I'm in, because as far as I'm concerned, like they have every right to be there, and I would hate to inconvenience them or make them even remotely sad in any way by locking them out. I'm sure there's some people out there who are like, oh, like if my pet's in the way, if they're like annoying me, whatever, I'll just like move them to a different room, close the door. No, I could never do that to my cats because I feel so bad. Like I've had to lock Fiora out of the office when I've done voiceovers before just because she keeps like bumping into the mic and stuff. It breaks my heart to do things like that. It breaks my heart to set boundaries with them. So Aslan was already being just like really clingy, and then on top of that, this somehow took me almost all day because I just kept getting distracted by literally everything I could possibly get distracted by. I was trying to be good and just listen to an audiobook and sit there and draw, but between Aslan and between my brain simply having so many thoughts, and every time I had a thought to do something, I would have to go do that thing. It was just a mess. And then the sun went down pretty quick because I was doing this all day, so that's where we got the little skip in time where you didn't see me color a few of these, because I did record the footage for it, but it just got so dark that the footage looked like not cute at all. It technically wasn't dark out yet, and I was like, as I was recording, I was trying to remind myself that like it always looks darker on the actual capture lens, and once I bring it up on my computer, it's brighter than it looks. I was bamboozled this time. It still looked bad when it started getting dark, so that's where that little extra footage went. And then once I finished this page, I just went in and added some little designs to the background to kind of make it look just more full and more cute. I feel like these little star thingies are such a good crutch for me because they're such nice space fillers, and I think they just look so aesthetically nice with like any kind of piece, whether it be simple or complex. And then there is my lovely, beautiful spread that I'm actually super happy with, and I would love to do more of these. So comment your favorite Pokemon, and mayhaps I will do another video like this, because this was so much fun, and I'd love to do more little dudes and mayhaps make sticker packs, specifically blind bag sticker packs. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much for sticking with me. Enjoy some little background footage of Aslan being a cutie and needing attention and being adorable. I love him so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.